Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. There is nothing like gaming to bring people together, and there's nothing like seeing the impact that gaming can have on people. Whether it's a first playthrough of one of the all-time greats, the excitement of a new console, or your first gaming convention, the joys are endless, and the impact gaming can have on people cannot be understated. Today, we're diving into the gift of gaming and the impact it can have on people. But first, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, as Buddy the Elf would say, he's a cotton-headed ninny-muggins, and his motto is, I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite. It's Ryan.
Josh, just so you know, that gum over there, it's not free candy.
Dang it, too late. And joining us, he doesn't smell like beef and cheese. And if gaming had a Santa Claus, this might just be him because he can be found spreading gaming cheer throughout the world. It's Ian.
I'm sorry, I don't have a cool Buddy the Elf quote for you, but just super pumped to be here, guys.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You're the gaming Santa Claus. And now, right now, this is where people are going, wait, what?
Wait, Santa? Santa? I know him. I know him.
You're not Santa.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, thank you for joining the Buddy the Elf podcast.
Yeah, right?
Everybody. No, Ian, we are super excited to have you. And as much as we have teased this little you being the gaming Santa, why don't you, well, actually, I'll just say it. So to introduce you to the listeners, you lead the gaming division at the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which, oh my goodness, what an incredible thing that instantly just makes me smile. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and about what you do at Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. So yes, my name is Ian Wright. My official title is the lead manager for gaming and digital fundraising at Make-A-Wish America. It doesn't fit on a business card. I usually just tell people I'm the gaming guy. That's just that's what I do. I'm the gaming guy for Make-A-Wish. So when it comes to video games and Make-A-Wish, if there's a conversation, whether it's fundraising or wish granting, I'm usually involved in some capacity. My role in general is to do fundraising. It is to sort of get individuals and corporations involved to help support the mission of Make-A-Wish through gaming. But like I said, if it's wish granting, if it's just spreading the word of Make-A-Wish through gaming, that's what I'm here for. I'm a longtime gamer. Like since I can remember, my first game I think was Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, so it was like the early 90s.
Gamers.
Yeah, so like, that'll like date me a little bit there. But that's like the first one I remember. But like I've had the SNES, I had the Sega Dreamcast. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Soul Calibur.
I mean, like, Fantasy
Played
Star
so
Online,
much Soul
like
Calibur on that thing.
GameCube, Xbox, like PC all the way. So yeah, I'm a lifelong gamer and super pumped to be here.
Dude, we're very excited to have you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that is awesome. So you mentioned you handle the fundraising and the kind of the gaming division at Make-A-Wish. Is that kind of like a 50-50 split? Is it more like, hey, I try to get people to support this awesome cause, and when gaming comes up, that's kind of my wheelhouse and people kind of point them in my direction? But tell us a little bit more about that. Like, are you directly involved in the like granting of wishes that are gaming related and stuff like that?
So not by like, first and foremost, like not every wish, right? Our organization grants. I mean, last year we did 16,200, a little over 16,200, which was a record. It's the most we've ever granted as an organization. So very excited to do that. And then as part of that 16,000, we grant hundreds of gaming wishes. And so I am definitely not involved in the majority of them, but I am involved in ones that I can try to make a direct impact on, or ones that might need a little bit of help. The way that our organization is sort of split up, we have Make-A-Wish America, which controls America, and then underneath that we have different states and regions, our chapters. And so we might have chapters go, hey, we have a gaming wish in our region. We have absolutely no idea how to move forward, whether it's contacting a developer or contacting, a gaming celebrity in their area. And they're like, can you help us with this? Or we say, hey, we have a kid who wants to do this very specific thing in gaming. Is that possible? And then we sort of go from there. So most of my time is based around fundraising, just because that's a much more proactive thing that I can do as far as outreach to different communities or groups. But then if there is something that pops up, my inbox is constantly with like hey, I have a gaming question, and then I'm there to answer it.
All right. So, I mean, it sounds freaking awesome to be able to work in like the gaming division of Make-A-Wish, right? Like, I imagine that this involves talking to studios at times, talking to developers when you're trying to help a wish come true. Getting to meet the people that are making these wishes. Like, is it as awesome as it sounds?
Yes. I will tell you right now that being part of granting a wish is a life-changing process. It will stick with you like forever. And the amount of outpouring and support you see just from people who are even sort of like tertiary to the wish, like the amount of enthusiasm they have, it's just like it's motivating and heartwarming and just so encouraging because like everyone in that moment is just so pumped. The wish kid is pumped, their family is pumped, the people that are granting the wish, the people that are watching the wish get granted, like I get chills talking about it. Like it's
I love it.
Awesome.
That's because I personally, when I see somebody that like needs a jump at a parking lot, or they need gas on the side of the road, I get amped up to help them with something like that.
Yeah.
So to get your whole life is just, you're just helping not only somebody, but you're helping kids. Like, I couldn't imagine, because I get chills hearing you talking about it.
Yeah, doing good for people feels good, right? Like just doing good feels good, and so doing it on that scale, and you have this moment where like, that the kid has been, so the way, and especially the way that our organization does it. So just some information for the listeners: when a child enters into the Make-A-Wish pipeline, the first part of that is basically like we have volunteers and we have staff that they go to the child and they sort of get the child's interest, right? Some kids, if they're over a certain age, they know what they want. They go, this is my Make-A-Wish wish, boom, like done. If they're younger, or if they're maybe not as familiar with our program, sometimes we'll go, well, what are your interests? What are your hobbies? What do you like? And we'll sort of try to figure out what is, the art of possible. Then from there, we take it behind the scenes and we figure out how to make it with Make-A-Wish magic. And then we do what's called the wish reveal. And so that's when we actually go to the wish kid and we say, hey, your wish is being granted, right? And so like when I started working for Make-A-Wish, the first 2 weeks, they said, when I first started, I said, hey, I want to be on a wish. I want to be involved with kids. Like I want to, do something. I want to feel the mission. And they were like, cool. There's actually a wish reveal happening in your like town, like in 3 days or whatever. Like you can go and be part of it. And so I went. It was with Disney, and Disney had come out with their Wish movie that came out 2 years ago, and and so we actually went. We had a 5-year-old. He had leukemia, and he loved 2 things. He loved trains, and he loved Disney. Those were his like 2 things he loved. And so we did a big surprise party for him at the theater. We said, hey, guess what? Your wish is being granted, and you're going to ride a train from Raleigh, North Carolina to Florida, and you get to go to Disney. So you're gonna ride a train to Disney, and he was amped out of his mind, right? And so like that, it's like that, and that was just the wish reveal. That was just telling him he's gonna have his wish, and then he actually got to go do his wish and rode the train with his family, went to Disney and all that. So like just being part of that, even like the employees there, like we go, we're like, hey, the kid and his family, all the popcorn and candy they want, and like if you just take a 5-year-old to a counter and say you can pick out all the candy you want. That's like, that's the greatest thing in the world. And the employees are back there laughing, like handing out candy. Like, it's just fun. Like everyone involved is like amped to be part of that moment. So it's something unique in my job that I can't get anywhere else.
Oh, I love it, man. I don't know if this is a famous saying or not, but it's like, if you're having a bad day, do something nice for somebody.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it'll instantly turn your day around and you'll feel better. And, it really kind of gets us out of that, this day sucks kind of mentality and stuff. And yeah, you're right. Doing good for people is inherently makes us feel good by nature. And it makes you wonder why we don't do that more often.
Right? Yeah.
It's contagious, man.
Why don't you do more good stuff, Ryan? Like that's what Josh and I were talking about before the start.
Yeah.
Okay, only so that's how this is going to go.
When's the last time you saved a cat, Ryan?
Yeah, when's the last time you No.
Ryan actually did save a cat.
Did he? Josh, why aren't you saving cats?
Exactly. Yeah, let's turn this around right on Josh there.
I already have 2 cats, and 3 is I can't go more than that, man. So
okay, so you're heading up this gaming division. It's obviously kind of you're getting to help kids. It's a dream that anyone would love to have. like it's safe to say, you said in the beginning, like you're a gamer as well. Like, have you just always been that way? You've always just loved video games. You love that kind of world.
Yeah. It's I have always been like a gamer. Both of my brothers are like much taller and fitter and more athletically inclined than me. And so growing up, they would beat me at basketball and soccer and like all other things. And then we would finish the week out by me just destroying them in any video game that you could pick. Right. And so like that was like, and I think there's a sense of escapism, a sense of, storytelling. I love all kinds of media. I love reading, I love movies and TV, and video games are just another form of that. They're another art form that tells a story, but it's a more interactive art form. And I think there's something really valuable there. And then there's especially as gaming has evolved and we've sort of lost couch co-op, which sucks in my opinion. That's not a hot take on the show at all. Probably couch co-op is amazing. But there is something great in the online element of gaming and a sense of community you can build. And so like I've really channeled that, and I've made lifelong friendships off of people that I met over the internet. I had like 5 or 6 guys come to my wedding a couple years ago that I had never met in person, but like I met them playing Xbox, and they're all great dudes, right? And so it's like there's a sense of community that I love in gaming, where you can meet someone like this podcast, where it's 3 dudes from different backgrounds living in relatively different places, but we're here to talk about gaming, and that's what unites us. And I love that. So I've always been a gamer, and the power of gaming is just immeasurable.
That's what we always say, that no matter who we have on the show, if we ever bring anybody on, or anyone just in general in life, like we can talk games. Like no matter who you are,
for sure.
If you like video games, we can talk games, and we can find some sort of common ground where we can chat about something. It's just one of those things that bridges all gaps and unites like everybody, honestly. Like there's just that bond between gamers where it's something different than anything else in the world.
And I also believe that like people are like, I don't really like video games. I'm like, I'm not saying you like video games, but there's one out there that I bet you do like.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think there's a game for everyone. Like even like my dad, who was like the most old school, technologically like dumb person. He'll say that like, it's gaming. He's always active. He has to be up and doing something. If you put him down in front of Mario Tennis for Nintendo 64, he will not get up until someone comes and gets him. Like that game specifically, right? Like so, I think there's a game for everyone. Honestly,
it is really funny because my wife is somewhat of a gamer, but she's very, very niche in like the game choices. Like it has to be Nintendo, and it has to be like Zelda or Mario. But if it's one of those two things, like she will get completely engrossed in it and just play it for hours at a time until she beats the game. And then she kind of looks around and is like, well, what do I do now? And I'm like, there's a lot of Mario games out there, right?
there's a few. And then going back a couple years. Yeah.
My dad is in his mid 70s, and he discovered, we got him a Quest 2 for Christmas a few years ago. Yeah. That's all he does now. Like legitimately, like it's all he does is like, my mom will be like, your dad played the Quest 2 for like 3 hours last night. He's making friends in the multiverse, and he's doing these online co-op
awesome.
things.
Like, is that not awesome? Like, that's amazing.
And he's in his like mid 70s. And I'm just like, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, man.
Well, I broke my wrist. I'm an old dingus, so I thought I could skateboard again like I did when I was 17, and I broke my wrist, and I couldn't golf. I'm a big golfer. And so I threw on the Oculus, and then I was just playing VR golf for like 2-3 months until I could swing a club again. And so there's just so many categories within like the gaming universe, if you will, that will fit somebody, which is just so awesome. And I'm sure it's applicable to, you and your industry with your, company and Make-A-Wish to be able to just satisfy all those needs for these kids, man. It's just so awesome.
Yeah. All right. So, Ian, we always ask people before they come on the show, we kind of like to get a little bit of info up front. Ryan's he's sighing already. Man.
I think that's all we have for today, folks.
He knows what's coming. I love this so much. So, Ian, we asked you for a hot take. Yeah. All right. And I'm with you. I mean, man, it seems like, you know what? These us bearded gents, with the handsome faces and this like really good gaming knowledge. I feel like we're just kind of on a different level, man. But
well, what is it? Let's hear it. Let's hear what.
Let's hear what is your hot take.
My gaming hot take that I will also stress to the listeners. I sent this in and then happened to check the guy's top 10 favorites and was like, oh, that was probably a mistake, but it's fine. I am a firm believer that the vast majority of Rockstar IP, so the Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead, the Red Dead series, Redemption 2, all of them. Fantastic, incredible games, beautiful world storytelling, world building, character development, everything. Writing is amazing. They will never be eligible to be game of the year or best game of all time, GOAT status, because the controls are an absolute crime against humanity. And I stand by that. I stand by the fact that I shouldn't have to, in this day and age, double tap the A button to make my guy run, which is like one of the most basic things I need them to do in a game that like requires a bunch of traversal. And also there's just some line of code in Rockstar's, development process that says, if your character is fleeing from a situation, whether it's a gunfight or a car chase or something, and they're running and they get within 3 feet of an object, they will just randomly ragdoll and trip over it. That's also something I believe. So I again, great games. I've played them. I've beaten them. I love them, but they're never going to be at the top of the list because of that. Their controls just, they're the worst thing ever. And I stand by
heart.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, Ian.
It's tough. It hurts. It hurts me to say. It should be, but it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing here?
I have always maintained that, listen, I fully admit that Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the greatest video games that has ever been made. But
100%.
I have been a staunch believer in that the gameplay is a 7 out of 10. And people go, what are you talking about? And it's the exact same thing. It's the controls. It's the shooting in that game. It's the weird, like when you press forward on the stick, there's that pause and the slight acceleration of the character where it's like, it feels like it's laggy or right. It just takes a little bit to get going. It's the same thing when you stop, they kind of have to, come to a stop and it's just not snappy.
Your ACLs would both completely explode if you just stopped on a dime.
And they did, Ryan, but you know what? I stopped at the same time.
Okay, but you can stop. The crazy thing to me is that like I don't even like double tapping to run. Like that's the hang up on the greatest game ever made.
It's so dumb.
It's the greatest game ever made. There's if your hang up is having to double tap to run, or like to me, like when I'm gun battling, flick that joystick up, and it's a headshot. Boom. It becomes second nature when you play it a little bit more than I guess you guys have. Maybe you're not.
We got him going. Ian. We got him going.
I know, and I don't like that you got me going, but I am because I can say that there are games that gameplay is better, but I don't think that the gameplay in Red Dead is bad enough to negate all the other 99% of how amazing that game is. Like that is not enough to justify not letting it be game of all time. Like for me. Do you want to hear something that might also send you over the edge? That I realize.
The whole rest of this episode is just ways to trigger Ryan at this point.
This is also kind of just like the definition of like the duality of man, because I would say that The Witcher 3 has really janky, awkward combat. And I think it's the best game ever made. So I completely just ignore the whole rule I put for myself for Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto and just put The Witcher 3 at the top.
And that's fair, because Witcher 3 is one of our favorite games of all time. Absolutely. It's one of those things where I still switching between the swords and like just the combat is so kind of.
But just to your point, like, it was not a problem for me because I got good at it. You know what I mean? Just switch it over, the ARD sign, all those different things. Like,
I just knew when I had to run, it takes a second to take a couple steps, but that's, and I'm not a sim guy. I don't like real life sims. I don't like sim games as much, but like it does make that more realistic. Like I'm a cowboy in 1890 or whatever it is, and I'm just running. So like it takes a couple strides to get going. But man, I don't even know what to say.
To be fair to The Witcher 3, it came out in 2015, and then Red Dead 2 came out in 2018. You think that in those 3 years they would have figured out movement a little bit, but no, they just went, whatever.
Have you seen some of the games lately? Come on.
I am also with you, Ian. I think we all agree Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games ever made. So, what game has really, really good controls and gameplay is that God of War, the game that actually won Game of the Year in 2018. That game was the true victor, and rightfully so as well. So, Ryan. So
I know I love God of War. It's like one of my favorite games of all time as well. I just Red Dead. Red Dead is just that next level above for me. But it's fair. I get it. I get some people can't handle controls and they're not good enough to do it. So it's not a not a big deal.
Oh man.
There's also just like I could just keep going. Like there's just little
keep going, please.
It's just like little. It's like the fact that like there's like a sense of realism. Like I get that argument, but then there's also the like if I aim my pistol down or rifle down too far, I can accidentally shoot my own horse. But like, and I get it's like, well, that's really what would happen. But you would never do that if you were actually, so it's just like a janky controls that are making it do that.
Yeah.
It's
no, I had my wife, her name is Sarah. I had like Sarah 6.0 because I would just randomly clip a wall or a pole or something with my horse. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. And I just kept renaming it to just keep it like the running joke because it would just my horse would explode and I'd run and tumble and I'm like, dang it. And I'd have to go get another one. And so I get it. I get it. But there's a lot in that game. They can only do so much. Everything can't be perfect, man.
And that's why it's a 7 out of 10 gameplay, Ryan.
Yeah,
That's
all
you need to do is just
Moving
accept.
on.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is accept the 7 out of 10, and we can put this to bed, Ryan.
If you were to say 8, I could muscle my brain into like
7.5. I'll meet you in the middle.
Honestly, I was gonna say I'll give you an 8.5. Right? Like it's fine. Like I think it's great. Okay. It's just it's just not greatest of all time.
I can't go up to 8.5. I'm sorry, guys.
Sticking firm, like the Shark Tank.
I love this. Yep. All right, listen, we got to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we want to hear about what some of your favorite games are beyond the Rockstar games here. So we'll be right back in just a second. All right, we are back chatting with Ian from the Make-A-Wish America. Oh my goodness, I am loving this episode already. Ryan, sorry for the trolling there.
Yeah,
that was completely unplanned as well. So, this is what is great about this. But getting to know Ian a little bit more. Ian, what are some of your favorite games over maybe the last few years or something, just so we can kind of get an idea of your taste in games?
Yes, last few years. I'm going to say a few years is 10 years. I feel like that's probably
that's
like a good number. So going back very specifically, the first Destiny, and then Trials of Osiris, very like that specifically. Is that a
Friday
bad
night?
Ride? Or like,
no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 1,700 hours in Destiny 1.
Okay.
And I spent more Friday nights than I care to remember in Trials of Osiris, and you get real sweaty on Friday nights, and it was a lot of highs and a lot of lows for sure.
I love Destiny and like the grinding and the boss runs, doing raids, everything, all the mechanics of it. Great game. Trials of Osiris specifically, if I could, I said it yesterday. I was talking to my buddy I used to play Trials with, and I was like, if a developer would just take Trials and just that's the game, you make $1 billion. So if someone knows how to do that, just give me 10% for my idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Destiny, outside Destiny, because I haven't played that in a while, to be fair.
Same.
So I play a ton of a game called Smite and Smite 2. Now that Smite 2 is out, so if everyone's not familiar, it's a MOBA a la League of Legends, but it's like third person instead of top down. That's the one I've got like 4,000 or 5,000 hours in. I think that's a game that I've no-lifed super hard. Recently. It's like a cop-out because they both got Game of the Year, but I've been playing a ton of Balatro and then a ton of Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is in my top 10. That one's near the top as well. That game is a masterpiece.
Game,
and so eagerly awaiting patch 8 when that drops so I can play with my friends on Xbox because I'm on PC and I can do crossplay now. Yep. Super pumped on that. It's... Fortnite is still fun for me.
It is fun. I didn't think I'd like it, but it's fun.
It is a fun game.
I play Fortnite and I play what I have a mortgage mode. And so I play Fortnite OG no build. So basically like the least skill level and I don't have to learn anything new, and then I play with my other friend who also has a mortgage and we don't get destroyed by 9-year-olds. We just get destroyed by like 15-year-olds. You know what I mean? It's
there you go. Yeah.
No build mode was the best thing they did for that game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
100%.
And so I've actually been playing that a little bit and it's been fun. I'm trying to think of any others that have like truly captured me over the last decade. And I'm sure, there was a game called Storybook Brawl That's unfortunately.
What is that? I saw you mention that. I've never even heard of this game before.
Yeah, so it was a auto battler. It was sort of like not like a deck builder, but you had like a limited bench, and then you could swap out characters. So auto battler, that was made by a team that they were eventually acquired by Sam Bankman-Fried during the whole crypto FTX thing, and then when his assets got frozen and taken to court, they unfortunately went under because of that. And so to me, I'm not a big auto battler guy, and it actually is the game that got me into auto battlers. And since that game, I have tried like a dozen other auto battlers, and none of them do it for me, like including Hearthstone. I know everyone loves Hearthstone, but
Battlegrounds, yep.
Yeah, like that for me, like that one was like I could maybe learn it, but there's such like a high skill ceiling, and I don't really want to invest my time. So that's probably a great game. No shade, just not for me. But the game that made the team that made Sorba Brawl now have come out with a new game that's primarily mobile focused, which is cool because I don't play a lot of mobile games, so it's kind of fun to be part of that.
I don't either, yeah.
But it's very early in development, still kind of like in beta. It's not, you can download it, it's not fully in beta, but it's on the App Store called Once Upon a Galaxy, which is really fun. Again, like auto battler. It's a very small community, very dedicated group of people, and so it's kind of cool to be part of that and watch the game grow and the community grow and listen to feedback. So that's been fun. It's kind of a nice little mobile game that I can play when I'm not in front of my PC. But those have been the ones that have probably taken over my life for like the last 10 years, I'd say.
That's awesome.
There's the I have a love-hate relationship with Hearthstone. I was very big into Hearthstone when it was new and all that, and then got out of it for a while. And then when they released Battlegrounds, it's the only like auto battler game I play, but it's like everybody needs that game that they can just almost like tune out and still play.
Yep.
And it's like if I'm eating at my desk for whatever reason, or I'm working on something else, it's like, oh, let me play this because I can pay a little bit of attention to it for like 60 seconds, and then I can kind of turn it off and get something done on the side. And I love that those games fill that role, because it's like everybody kind of needs that type of game, to play when they're, they need it, when it's like, hey, I just need a little distraction, but I actually have to focus on something too.
Yeah. So. I recommend Once Upon a Galaxy for that exact thing. The games are super quick. It's actually it's asymmetrical, so it's not live lobbies, so you can like play around and then be like, oh, I have to go take care of the kid or walk the dog or do my job that they pay me to do, sort of thing. So highly recommend. I'll get you a PC download code. I got you.
I was going to say, I'll get you and Ryan
a PC download code. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. I'll get into it too. I swear.
He's like, I don't want to play that at all, guys.
I'm not taking anything this guy says now.
No, yeah. After the 7, 8 out of 10, I was like, I don't know. I
gave you
about
8.5. I thought we were building bridges.
Actually, we're building the rapport. This is very good. This is much more than Josh has ever given me.
Still overrated. I'm not going up to 8.5.
Come on, dude. No. All right. Moving on. So, like, with games like that, what is it? I know we all, as gamers, we have a feeling that gaming gives us. And so, it resonates with everybody. And like we talked about before, there's all sorts of categories. There's something within everybody that they can find a game. Like you said, everybody has a game that they can find. Like, did that help lead you into this role? Like, just having a love for gaming? Like, what brought you to this?
Yeah. So my journey to employment is kind of interesting, and it's really cool to kind of see the building blocks along the way. So I actually, when I graduated high school, I ended up joining the Army. So I was in the Army for a few years, and when I was in the Army, played a ton of video games. Played them, like, that was a really good way to like kind of like have camaraderie with your friends, and like you play video games on a Friday night. I actually played it, like we played a ton of video games. We were deployed. I would run the table in N64 Super Smash Brothers. Like I will stand here on business right now that Super Smash Bros. Melee, you'll beat me, right? I'm not good. Wave dashing, I'm not strong at it. Original N64 Smash Brothers, I'll take my Pikachu anytime, anywhere, and I'll bring it to wherever you need it. I'm putting that out there just for the record. But yeah, so, played a ton of video games then. And then after I got out of the Army, went to college, got my degree. And then I found a job working for a charity called the USO, United Services Organization. It's a military nonprofit. Working just kind of at a desk, ended up doing like data analysis for them for a while. And then my boss at the time was like, hey, you're a gamer, I'm a gamer. This organization has no presence in gaming at all. And we're both military vets. We both know that they love gaming, like the military loves gaming, like there's something here. And so him and I worked our day job, and then at night we kind of built out this small little fledgling gaming program, built that out over the years. Like it led to like my personal kind of like claim to fame like moment that I was like, oh, like I've been successful in my role, is we actually partnered with the NFL, and we now they still do it, run an annual Madden tournament for the military. Winners go to the Super Bowl. And so like that's
wow.
like taking it from like little Twitch streams to that was really, really cool to see. It's still going on. Super proud of them for what they're doing. And then, I was doing that role, and then this opportunity with Make-A-Wish came up, and it was like gaming, and I can't say no to the kids. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So yeah, that's kind of where it ended up. I went from doing it for the military to this, and it's been fantastic. Granting wishes and raising money for kids with video games is like the best thing ever.
Yeah. What more can you ask for,
yeah,
man?
I mean, I can't. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Oh man. All right. So we gotta put you to the test here, right? We like to be stupid. We come up with stupid ideas and episodes because it's just kind of the fun thing that friends do. So what video game character do you think that you could take in a fight and still have it be a close fight?
Oh my God. Have it be a close fight, but I win or they win?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, you win.
I can win, but it's still going to be close.
God, dude. Probably
because it's like I'd smash.
And don't say Arthur Morgan because of gameplay.
No,
like
I'd smash Toad
Hey.
in a fight. Like that's not a fair fight. Toad, dude, I'm going to destroy him, right? But it's like, what character do you think would be close in a fight still?
Yeah, I couldn't beat Arthur Morgan. He throws hands. He would walk very funny at me, but he would end up beating me, like for sure. This is a great question. I like this a lot. Okay, I'm trying to like go through. I'm not trying to sell myself short and say like one of the Animal Crossing characters, because Tom Nook, like I'll take him out. You know what I mean? It's on site with Tom.
Tom Nook.
No, who's up there that like I think, but I also think could like also put some damage to me.
Yeah.
I think most Pokemon would just kill me outright, just because like they have lightning and fire and all those different things. Probably need to find a human. I would.
Doesn't have to be human.
This is probably kind of crazy. If he doesn't have any of his like special abilities, I'd fight Mario. I'd fight him.
So Mario without like fire
Mario,
flower,
no fire flower, no star, no mushroom, anything. Just straight up plumber versus me. I think he might get me on edge, but I feel like I'm a little younger than him, so I might have that. Yeah. I don't know though, because he has.
I think that's
experience.
Fair, man.
He's got
no power up Mario. I think
no power up Mario. I think he'd be good to squabble with. I think
I would.
Be cool
I'm gonna throw this out there. I think you're selling yourself short.
You think so? I don't know.
He's a 5'1" plumber. Like what?
So first of all, he's a plumber. He works the trades. This is a strong guy. This guy carries stuff around. He's active. Yeah. You know what I mean? Full respect to him. He's also like from New York. There's a certain edge that
there's a toughness.
He carries himself with. And also he stands on business. His princess gets captured. He immediately goes and fights a fire-breathing turtle dragon. Like
this is true.
The man steps up. So I'm kind of concerned I might be overselling my own abilities, but I'd fight Mario. I stand by that. Yeah.
I think you could do it.
Yep.
I think so. Yoshi is mine.
You think Yoshi?
Yeah, screw that guy, man. I hate Yoshi.
Just punch him right in the nose.
He'd probably get a bite or two in on me or whatever, but I'm choking him out, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh man. All right. So let's see. One more question here, and then we're going to move on and talk a little bit more about what it's like to actually grant a wish for somebody. Yeah. Let's do this one. How about this? Is there a game coming out in 2025 that is at the just absolute top of your hype meter?
Oh, I mean, Avowed comes out tomorrow. I don't know if we're supposed to. It comes out tomorrow. I don't know if we're supposed to
tomorrow from this recording.
Yeah, from this
right,
recording. Yeah. But yeah, Avowed comes out. Super pumped on that. Just because. Actually, I want to give a little shout out to my list of games before. A game that I loved, I think was criminally slept on. The Outer Worlds. I don't know if you guys played the Outer Worlds, but like
I didn't play it. I'm familiar with it. But original Fallout developers and stuff that split off.
And super fun. I thought the dialogue was cool. I liked the whole concept of like corporations and space. I really enjoyed it. Another game where like the gameplay kind of suffered compared to the storytelling and the characters, but like still really fun. But like a lot of the same people that did Avowed, and I've read some reviews, and apparently there's a little bit of that like kind of snark and humor, which I'm excited about. But like in the world of Skyrim. I know it's not Skyrim, but come on, guys, let's be real here.
Oh, it's
But so
Skyrim.
yeah,
Give it to me, man.
yeah,
Give it to me.
that one. Honestly, it's like I got sad because I was like, oh, today's a holiday. I can play Avowed because it comes out today. It comes out tomorrow.
Nope.
And that was kind
Comes
of one
out
of those
tomorrow.
like, oh,
I
brutal,
know.
man.
This is the funny thing about Avowed too, is it's like this is something we see as gamers too, right? If you go online, everybody hates everything, right? Or it's I love everything and I can't ever criticize anything, and then it's like, dude, come on, that's like just as bad. This is a terrible game.
7 out of 10.
Right?
7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10, exactly. So it's funny because if you go online and you see people are like, oh, Avowed's just kind of mid. Every gamer that I have talked to that is actually playing Avowed has been like, dude, this game's great.
It's fun.
Like, it's not the best game I've ever played, but like this is a modern feeling Skyrim-esque type game. Like, what's not to love?
I think that like that's such a good point that like I feel like it's the same for even music and movies and TV, but like now with games, I feel like if like people take the game and they go, oh, this isn't the greatest video game I've ever played, it's a dumpster fire. And it's like that's not how that works at all, man. Like for me, like I played a ton of Helldivers 2 when it first came out, and like I played it. It was fun. It was silly, over the top action, gore. You're launching yourself off a cliff and firing a nuke at a bunch of aliens. Like it was silly, and at no point did I go, "This is the greatest video game I've ever played." But I was like, "This is fun. I'm very happy to have put time and money into this. This is awesome." So yeah, it's like I'll play Avowed, and I could even be like, "Oh, this is worse than Skyrim." That's fine.
Okay.
Skyrim is like
give me 75% of Skyrim, and I'm perfectly
one of the
happy,
greatest
man.
games out there. It's like that's people will compare it. They're like, oh, this isn't as good as Skyrim. Great, or an open world adventure game, or a sandbox. They go, this just isn't as good as Red Dead. Oh, so it's not as good as arguably the best video game of all time. Sorry, it didn't hit that bar, but are you having fun? Like, are you enjoying your time with this? So yeah, I'm pumped for Avowed. I'm going to walk into it with a very open mind. I also have not read a ton of reviews on purpose, so I'm going to go in and hopefully I'll enjoy it.
That's smart. Yeah, we're pretty far into like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 right now, and we're having to break off to start Avowed, so we're like kind of reluctantly doing it, but we're super excited to check it out because, man, like you said, I mean, you have an amazing pizza or an amazing burger, and just because it's not the best one you ever ate doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, you having a good time?
You can sit and have fun and enjoy it, and oh man, that's crazy. But I guess so. With you, with the gift of gaming, you lead the division for Make-A-Wish, and you give all these kids, their dreams. How does that process work? How does it come to you to where you can come in and fulfill those dreams, and explain that process to us?
Yeah, so I would say that like it's kind of like a misnomer to be like you like lead the division. Like I just do the gaming stuff, man. Like I do the gaming stuff. I have a whole team of people I work with that like are incredible at what they do. And I just do the gaming stuff. On like the helping grant wishes side, like I think like a perfect example of it is we did a wish last year with a Twitch streamer by the name of Jinxie. I don't know if you're familiar with Jinxie.
Yeah, very familiar with Jinxie.
So he does Rainbow Six, another fantastic game. And so we had a wish where the kid, his wish was, I want to meet Jinxie and I want to play Rainbow Six with Jinxie, right? Like that's what I want to do, right? Super cool wish. And so it was like they were like, okay, we want to do this, but like how do we do that, right? Because like also it's like if they're like, oh well, I'll just go to his house, we don't always want to just like let people know where celebrities in this case live, right? Just out of their privacy and things like that. And so we're like, we have to find a neutral area for them to go and play Rainbow Six, right? And so then they were like, we don't know what that means, like, because they were like, can they play on Xbox? Is it a Nintendo game? Like, do PCs work? Like all these different questions. And so then it comes to me and they're like, hey, do you know anything about this? Like, because you're the gaming guy. I'm like, I know who Jinxie is. Yes, I will. And so long story short, I have an entire team of people that are absolutely amazing, incredible, and their entire existence is to link celebrities, whether that's movie stars, musicians, content creators, streamers, like celebrities, and link them with the kids, set up the travel, set up the schedule and all that. And then I just kind of pop in and go, hey, I've set up 2 PCs over here. I set them up. I installed the game. I got the characters unlocked. It's all set up and good for you to go, right? And then, push it from there. So like in that case, like it was just me helping them do it. there's also like if there's overlap, like we're at TwitchCon every year. This past year we had a wish. The kid's wish was, I wish to go to TwitchCon, and it's like, sweet, that's an awesome wish. I think that's super cool. So him and his family friend, like they all fly out. They get to go to TwitchCon, get to enjoy San Diego, and then while they're there, I'm already at TwitchCon, luckily, because we already have a presence there. But then I'm walking around talking to this Twitch staff going, hey, his favorite content creator is so-and-so. Could we set up a meet and greet? Kind of just as a surprise, right? And then that goes back to like the people are just pumped to be part of it. So then like I've got the Twitch staff that are just like, hey, we just thought it would be cool to give you all of the apparel that they sell at TwitchCon. Here's a bag of it for free. Like, enjoy, right? Like, because they're just excited to be part of that. And then like I'm talking to people, like I talked to some people at Elgato and at Origin PC, because they're both owned by Corsair, and I was just talking to them about Make-A-Wish, and I was like, I have a kid here, and they were like, we want to meet him and give him free stuff. So they brought him like, a Steam Deck and like a bunch of like PC parts and stuff, and we're like, here you go, just because they want to be part of the process, and just to see him light up and get really excited about it and them smile, it's just awesome moment. So it's more of like a, if there's a way that I can help and sort of amplify and try to make it better, I will. But then otherwise, like, I'll let the people do what they do best, let the celebrity team do it. Or if it's like I want to be in a video game, I want to create a video game, great. Hey, I have a friend who works at Blizzard, or I have a friend who works at, et cetera. Like, let me link them up, make sure that everyone's set up, and then I'll sort of step to the side and let them do their thing.
That's awesome,
that's so
dude.
Cool.
It really, I watched the video of I don't remember the kid's name now, but that got to be in, like, he created a video game with the Xbox Studios and stuff. We have
Asher? Yeah, we have a ton of those, right? Like we have a ton of those. We have like, we have one that I love talking about, and it's actually like super time-wise, it's super cool too, because it was like 20 years ago, and his name was Ben. It was 2003. And his name was Ben. And Ben wanted to design his own video game. And in 2003, like, obviously games were around, but like they were not what they are now. And so Make-A-Wish kind of had a harder time getting something set up. And then eventually they worked with LucasArts to like set up a game, and actually Ben designed
I miss
a game.
LucasArts, man.
Right. Yeah. They had some incredible games.
Yeah.
And like they got Ben, like eventually, like he built his own game. He the whole concept of it was fighting cancer and fighting the because he had leukemia, and so fighting cancer and fighting the symptoms of chemotherapy, and and sort of just like empowering like his vision for the game and empowering kids fighting cancer. It ended up like getting downloaded like 30,000 times, like all over the world.
Wow.
And then the reason it's super cool is because December of 2024, just a few months ago, marked 20 years of Ben being cancer-free in remission. And so seeing, awesome, seeing like hit start, and then him being an adult and talking about it. And now I think he works in like vaccine research, so he's still in the medical field, and like kind of like seeing that come full circle is just like really, really cool to talk about, and like see his vision, it all come there, and then him still be around to kind of talk about the impact that it had on his life. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of gaming wishes that we do, and if a kid can wish it, like, it's not guaranteed, but we're pretty good at making it happen.
Yeah. So that's awesome. My next question then, because we like to ask the questions that pop into our heads and stuff like that. And it's like, because we think our listeners are probably thinking the same thing here. So it's like, is there a type of wish that is like the hardest wish to kind of say, hey man, like we can try to do this, but this one's going to be tough, man.
It kind of just depends. A lot of wishes. So some of them we just have to be, we have to do the best version of the wish that we can. And so like if we have a child whose wish it is to meet like a content creator, and maybe they're in Australia and the content creators in Canada, like I'm trying to think of, really opposite parts of the globe there. And the child has a medical condition that makes traveling hard for them, and the content creator has like just like a schedule that makes it impossible for them to travel, or like there's reasons behind that. Then maybe it's like, well, we'll end up doing a video call just like this, right? Well, we'll do a video call, a virtual wish is what we call it. And there's usually an element of that where if it's a gamer, they'll play a game together or things like that. A lot of it, honestly, it's such a boring answer, but a lot of it's just like getting schedules to line up. That's not just like on the like the celebrity side, which is a big thing, obviously, but like for our wish kids, like people don't think about the fact that like wish kids are still kids and they're still in school. So like I've had wishes where we go, hey, so and so, like your wish is to meet so and like they're good to go, and they go, oh, I can't, I have exams that day, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, fair, but like fair, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, so like for us as an organization, we grant the most wishes in the summertime, like kind
That
of
makes
because
sense.
of that, because kids are
Families
out of
can
school.
travel
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah, they
more
can
and stuff
travel
like
easier.
that too.
Weather is
Yeah.
usually a little better versus like there's not a blizzard somewhere. So yeah, like it just really depends kind of on the wish kid's health, on the availability of different things, and then just timing too. Like you'll have a wish kid the day before the Super Bowl go, I want to go to the Super Bowl, and it's like, I would love for you, you're gonna have to wait to next year.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I mean, like just the
Yeah.
nature of it. I love, some of my favorite wishes are Olympics wishes, because I'm like,
Okay.
dog, like you're committing to, like, that's your wish, you might have to wait 4 years for the next one, like I
Yeah.
wish you go to the
Right.
Olympics, like we will send you for sure, but if they just happened, I cannot make the Olympics happen any sooner. That's just the nature of things. So yeah, it's there's, I don't think we ever have one that we comes across our desk where we're like, oh, not one of these. It's more of just like, okay, we know the challenges, we know the things you have to do behind it, and so we'll just make it happen.
So like kind of the maybe the more challenging ones or things that are a little bit harder to accomplish and stuff.
Yeah.
What is the most favorite one that you've had that just kind of like stuck with you? Maybe just was the most unique or something that just held on tightly that you've granted.
The ones that yeah, we did a virtual wish for a kid to meet Jacksepticeye. I don't know if you're familiar with Jack, but
Yep.
Jacksepticeye. Super sweet guy, super nice. He's granted a ton of wishes. Awesome human being.
Oh, awesome.
I always like to stress too, like, I'm not being polite and professional here. Like, he is genuinely super nice and has granted a ton of wishes, and like I love him for that. Like, that's like, he's super cool. And we granted a wish for a kid, similar, like as I mentioned earlier, he had a condition that just made travel really, really hard. And so he wanted to do a virtual wish and meet Jack and talk, and he wanted to talk about becoming a YouTuber and sort of get tips and tricks behind those things. But there was this moment during the wish. There's always a moment during a wish where like you want to cry. And like we did one at TwitchCon with Jaden Animations, and who draws on YouTube, and it's incredible, and she's granted a bunch of wishes too. And like during the middle of the wish, the little girl was just drawing, and she looks up and she was like, this is the best day ever. And it's like, oh, come on, dude.
Oh,
but so
come on, man.
so yeah, so
I can't.
right, yeah, but so no, the one I was gonna say with Jacksepticeye is Jack was talking to our wish kid, and our wish kid was like, so first of all, let me say this too. Similar to like any other podcast you do, hint hint for the listeners, like you usually talk to the people before you actually like do the wish. And so I had the opportunity to meet the wish kid and kind of talk to him, and be part of that process. And he was like, oh, I want to ask him about like about this one thing very specifically. I'm trying to be like kind of nebulous too, because I don't always like putting all the information out. He said, I want to talk about this one thing specifically. And I was like, dude, I love that. Like, I'm such a big fan of that as well. Right? It was about space. He's like, I want to ask him about this thing about space. And I was like, dude, I'm a big space nerd. I love that. I think that's super cool. And he was like, yeah, cool, man. And then the wish kid starts talking, and he's talking to Jack. And at one point, Jack was talking to him about his treatments, and the kid's like, yeah, it takes me like my treatments take like 6 hours, and I just have to sit there. I can't really do anything for 6 hours. And Jack was like, so like, what do you do? And he was like, I watch your videos. And I was like, brother, like, come on, kid, dude. And so I was like, dude, come on. And so he says all that. And then at the end, we have all left the wish. And like during the wish, it's just Jack and the kid talking. My camera's off. I'm muted. Probably crying, if I'm going to be honest with you. I've sobbed during several wishes. And at the end, Jack said his goodbyes. He's left the call. Absolute gentleman. And I come back on. I talk to the wish kid, and we're like, hey, did you have a good time? And the wish kid looks at me, and he goes, yeah, I thought you were going to jump on. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, when I asked him the question, you said you wanted to talk to him about it. So I thought you'd want to, be part of the conversation. And I was like, you wanted to invite me to your wish? Like, this was awesome, your moment, dude. Like, brother, like, you don't, God, like, such a sweet kid. So like, it's like moments like that where you like, so you meet kids that are in the midst of just like the worst possible thing you can go through as a human being, and they're still like so positive and just like a beacon of hope and like so giving.
Yep.
It just it just hits you. And like, I've never been part of one, but we do have a ton of kids whose wish is to grant other wishes. Like they want to help grant other kids' wishes. We've had a kid who wanted to feed all the homeless people in his town. Like I haven't had the privilege of being one of those because I'm on the gaming side, but like seeing those, it's just like, dude, it's just crazy to see it. Like the amount of love that they have.
It puts life in perspective when we complain about the little things like traffic and this and that, or, oh, I got to go to work today. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I think there's something there that honestly, it's like, I mean, I don't know a person in the world that honestly doesn't love what Make-A-Wish does. You know what I mean? And I think you see this response from just about everybody where, you know, again, if you're at TwitchCon and you mention it, somebody's like, oh, absolutely, dude. Like, let us get in on that.
What can we do?
You know, right. Exactly. Because it's just such a noble thing. And I think, again, people just want to be a part of that. And I think it does for people that might be outside, you know, that process. I think it's perspective for people to say, dude, there's a lot more to life than, you know, work and traffic and these little things that we complain about, you know, and I think that's necessary for people. So, okay. So my brain has to go to this, and I don't mean this to sound like negative in any way, but like, you know, it's just something that like my brain kind of goes like, man, that's a lot of pressure to grant this wish. Like, is there ever the worry or that moment of like you're about to grant a wish and then you just go like, dude, please let this be as cool as we think it's going to be. Like,
for me.
I don't want this kid to be let down. Like,
I hope this plays out 100%. Like I want it to.
Yeah, no, it is. It is like, I mean, so for me, like if it's like, I wish for a gaming PC. I'm like, well, I hope they like the gaming PC that we get for them. Right. And like, we'll get them a good one. Like, I'm not going to skim my promise. But you know, but it's like, it's also, there's stuff outside your control. Like when we did the TwitchCon wish, and there was just literally like, we had all the tickets are purchased. I've got Twitch staff with me. Like it's been set up for weeks at this point. But when we get there, there's just literally a computer issue and we can't print their passes. It just was out, you know, just like a 1 in a million glitch where we just can't get their information to pass to the printer and it just wouldn't work. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, great. In the first 5 minutes, I already have this kid like waiting in line. He can see all the fun stuff happening, but he can't go anywhere because, you know, the computer isn't working. And I'm like, God, like, I'm so sorry. I really want this to work, man. But like, he had a great time. It all works out. But you know, you just that. And then there's always the, when they meet a celebrity, you're always like, I hope you don't suck. Like, I hope you're cool.
Yeah.
And like for me, like never had a bad experience with any of the creators that we've ever worked with. Like they're absolutely fantastic. I've never had, we usually, depending on the wish, like we always give a time. You know, we like to set standards and sort of boundaries and let both the creator and the kid know, hey, you're going to be doing this for this long. I've never had a creator not go over. They always go over their time, like every single time. And afterwards, like they're never upset about it. They're never like, oh, well, you said it would be an hour. No, like they're super always understanding and happy to be part of the process. And so like, for me, I've never had that happen. That's a concern. But if it's someone that's granted a bunch of wishes, I don't have the concern because I know they're awesome. But if they're a first time wish granter, it's always like, oh, it's tough. But no, everyone's been amazing.
This is awesome, dude. It just goes to show you that like gaming, like we have been saying this since we've started this podcast, man, is like, you know, and we kind of touched on it earlier. Gaming brings people together. Yeah. We have had a psychologist on the podcast to talk about like the bonds that are made through gaming and things like that, and how they are legitimate like friendships and important to people's lives and things like that. You know, it's something that we stress. Our community is fantastic. We say it all the time. We hate that there is this like sub branch of gaming that has become like toxic and let me just put people down and try to make, you know, and a lot of the negative kind of connotations that go with that. And this is something that we're very passionate about, is kind of promoting, you know, gaming's for everybody. Yeah. You know, everybody's entitled to an opinion. You know, it's okay to have opinions on things. Just because they're different doesn't mean that somebody has to be wrong and things like that. And this is just awesome to see like how gaming can impact people's lives. I mean, you guys are literally getting people that are saying, this is my wish, you know, and it's gaming related. And I think that indicates again, the importance of gaming and the escapism that it can be, the bonds that people can form through that. And we absolutely love it. So one of the things we always do is we always like to say, hey, what's something really important that we can bring up on the show? And when we asked you that, obviously you said, hey, Make-A-Wish, and the fact that it's the World Wish Month. So can you explain what World Wish Month is? And if there is a link or something that somebody can go to, we'll put it in the episode description, but we want to make sure we kind of put that in front of people as well.
Definitely. World Wish Month is a celebration of the lead up to World Wish Day. And what is World Wish Day? So April 29th, is a little history, right? A little history here. So April 29th, 1980, in the Phoenix area of Arizona, there was a young man by the name of Chris Gracious, and he had leukemia. And he was battling his sickness, and he had always wanted, I think like most, young boys, wanted to be at some point in his life a police officer. I think that's pretty common for kids, either police officer or firefighter. I feel like it's probably one of the two. And his parents knew that, and at the time there wasn't anything like Make-A-Wish around, and so his parents talked to some friends who had some friends, etc. And they eventually got linked up with the local police department, and they said, "We're going to make Chris a police officer for the day." And so they gave him a uniform, they gave him a badge, they put him in the cop car, let him ride around, let him be kind of a cop for the day. And they said, "Oh, Chris actually loves helicopters, like most young boys, loves helicopters. Would you think you could let him like sit like in the helicopter and just kind of like look at the buttons or whatever?" And they were like, "Dude, he could fly it." So they flew him around the city, in the helicopter, and so he got to be a police officer for a day. And then shortly after that, unfortunately, his condition turned worse, and he passed away. And after that happened, his mother, Linda, said, "This can't just happen for Chris. This needs to happen for all of the kids everywhere." And so that wish started Make-A-Wish. So it wasn't the first Make-A-Wish wish, but it was the wish that inspired Make-A-Wish, right? There you go.
I can only get so many goosebumps, man. My body's like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, stop it.
Sorry. So that was kind of the first wish that inspired Make-A-Wish. And so, ever since we've granted, tens of thousands of wishes or hundreds of thousands of wishes, worldwide. And so that day, April 29th, is the day that we celebrate the movement that started Make-A-Wish. And so for us on the gaming side of things, we use that opportunity to tell the story of Chris, tell the story of Make-A-Wish. We work with content creators and streamers to fundraise during that time. So if anyone has ever been on Twitch for more than 5 minutes, they've probably seen a charity stream. We work with YouTubers, we work with any kind of content creators that want to do a fundraiser in honor of Chris, in honor of Make-A-Wish and the work that we do during World Wish Month. And then as part of World Wish Month, we celebrate what we call wish makers. So a wish maker is anyone who basically pushes the Make-A-Wish movement forward. It pushes our mission forward. So, spoiler alert, both of you guys are now wish makers, right? Just by kind of putting me on this podcast to talk about Make-A-Wish, like you're moving our mission forward, right? And it's anyone from our fundraisers to donors to people who volunteer their time. It's the people that if you're driving the shuttle at the airport and a wish kid is on it, you're a wish maker, right? You're helping make that wish happen. You're part of the Make-A-Wish mission. Last year, we our sort of goal and what we achieved was we recruited 1 million wish makers in the month of April. So we had 1 million people sort of sign up and were like, this is how I'm helping the Make-A-Wish mission. And so that's what it's all about. Is World Wish Month is all about becoming a wish maker in some way. On my end, ideally, it's starting or donating to a fundraiser to help support the Make-A-Wish mission. Our goal is $50,000 this year. It was $50,000 last year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We did $50,000 last year. We're going to do $50,000 again this year, hopefully. And if people do want to be involved with that and become a wish maker, they can go to either wish.org/stream, or they can go to wishmaker.org. The wishmaker.org will have we have some updated Wish Kid stories that I'm really excited to show off in the near future. And so that's the easiest way. And I would say too, outside of the wish granting and the fundraising, when we raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for kids with critical illnesses, one of the coolest things that I've had happen for me at Make-A-Wish was last year I got the opportunity to sit and talk with Linda, Chris's mom, the woman who started Make-A-Wish.
Oh, that's
She's
awesome.
still in
wow.
Arizona. She's still part of things. And I got to sit and talk with her for like 5 minutes, just literally one-on-one, just at a table, her and I, no one around. And I kind of explained what I do. And shockingly, like she is not too familiar with the world of gaming and streaming and different things. That's not her forte. But when I explained to her what I do and what we do with video games and what we do with streamers and content creators, she just looked at me. She like put her arms out. She put her hands on my hand and she looked at me. She said, "Thank you for telling Chris's story to a new audience." And I was like, I'm gonna cry over here now too. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, so it's that for me is like what World Wish Month is about, is telling Chris's story and Make-A-Wish's story to that new audience, right? Telling it to streamers, telling and their viewers, podcasts, right? Like talk about what Make-A-Wish does, why we do it, the importance of what we do, who we serve, and just getting our word out and our mission out.
That's
I love it, man.
I know, right? I mean, Josh and I were both Phoenix people here.
Yeah.
I'm a native, born and raised. My son's been at Phoenix Children's, and my little sister as well. I know Make-A-Wish. I've seen them there before, and so like what you guys do is just it's second to none. And there's a lot to be said, and it's something that we try to kind of put forward too with our campaign of just No Gamer Left Behind. That we just want there always to be a good space for everybody, and for anyone that is having a hard time or needs help or anything. Like there's always somebody there for you, and that's what you guys do. You make these dreams come true. And so what we want to do on behalf of the Video Gamers Podcast, we want to help you guys out. We're Dream Makers now, apparently. We're honorary Dream Makers.
Wish
Makers.
Yep.
So we're going to donate $5,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Thank you.
And we just want to, we want to make those wishes come true.
Thank you. Man, I mean, dude, thank you guys, dude. That's awesome. Thank you, man.
It's
That means a lot.
We absolutely love what you guys do. It's the same thinking, right? Like good people do good things for people and good things happen, and it's just one of those things where Ryan mentioned it. We're very staunch believers. We've kind of been pushing this. The saddest thing to us is like somebody that goes, I want to play this game, but I don't have any friends to play with.
Yeah, that sucks.
You know what I mean?
I'll buy
And
it, download it right now. Let's play.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I will play with you. That's literally our answer is you come join our community. We'll play with you, or, because that's something that nobody should not be able to do. And with what you guys do, especially, it's just, we want to support that. We want our listeners to support that. And we appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with us. And so this donation is, just a thank you for what you guys all do and for, what you do as part of that as a bigger whole, man. It's really impressive. I mean, I know I've gotten chill bumps about 3 or 4 times.
I know,
this
it's the whole episode.
So it's just, And again,
I want to apologize. I want to apologize for it.
No, not at all, man. And so it's just one of those things that as gamers, this is what we want, man. This is what we want other gamers to do as well. So
and it shows what gaming means to people, like what it can do and how it can heal and help and bring people together and make wishes come true. It's just there's nothing like it.
I'm gonna I'm really excited to go back and tell my bosses, that you guys are going to make a $5,000 donation, not because of the amount of money, which is amazing, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you. But it's more the fact that I get to go because they're gamers, right? Because they're gamers and they get it, right? Not just a Make-A-Wish mission, but they understand that we have kids who they wish for a gaming PC, and not because they want to play on ultra settings, but because their friends have PCs and they want to connect with their friends while they're in the hospital, right? Or they want to, they want to keep up and stay connected and be part of the newest hot game. They want to, I had a kid one time just wish for V-Bucks because he just wanted to buy skins for Fortnite. You know what I mean? Because his friends had them. So it's there's just so many versions of what gaming looks like. But like you said, it can be used for good. And so that's what I'm here for. It's what you guys are here for. So thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, this has been freaking awesome, dude. It's such an incredible thing to try to bring gaming to the world, to share the experiences. I mean, honestly, the friendships that we make along the way. I mean, you're hanging out with us and we get along really good, man. You know, it's like the start of a friendship right here, you know? So
I love it.
You know, whether you're escaping like the trials of life, a hard day, getting to be that wizard or that cyberpunk assassin, it really just means a lot to the people that are in it. So we do have one before we go, because we're about to close out the show, but we do have one more tough question for you. So you spend your time and the people you work with spend your time fulfilling people's bucket list items. So we have to ask, what is your bucket list item?
Oh, it's like, what is my, like, it basically like, what would my wish be? Like, type thing?
Yeah, exactly.
I probably, if I could pick anything, it would be spend an afternoon with Bill Watterson, the author of Calvin and Hobbes, the comic, this right here. Like,
man.
That would probably be number one. Bill, Mr. Watterson is famously not a fan of like doing interviews or like things like that. And I respect his privacy. So if he said no, then it would probably be, like cooking a meal with Gordon Ramsay, who's a big wish granter as well. So I could probably get him to say yes. Like that would probably be easier to get to say yes. So those would be one of the two. Yeah.
My wife and I watch Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares. Like we're big fans of Gordon Ramsay.
I just want him to call me an idiot sandwich.
Yeah,
and I'll be good to go. Sure. Like that would be life for sure. Life accomplishment.
He's one of the most kind-hearted people out there, but he comes across with that attitude, and it's so funny because it's exactly the opposite of who he actually is. And I think it's funny. It kind of tickles my mind.
Another dude who has granted a ton of wishes and says yes like anytime. Like he's super great about it. So yeah, he'd be on my list as well.
Awesome. Well, listen, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to put the links. If you want to be a wish maker, we'll put the links in the episode. Like Ian said, just participate in any way that you can. I mean, I'll be honest, this is absolutely my favorite charity, man. I mean, I absolutely love what you guys do. There's a lot of really good charities out there, but this one just touches people's hearts, man. And getting involved in that is awesome. Thank you for coming on and giving your time to this podcast and just being silly and talking video games with some dudes. You know, we hope people enjoyed it. That will do it for this episode, everybody. Make sure you click the links, support Make-A-Wish. Thank you, Ian, so much for joining us. That's it for this one. Until next time, happy gaming.
See ya.